Why, hello, friends. Welcome back to Gemini Shit with a side of coffee, the podcast where we talk about life, hustle, energy, intuition, and all the weird spiritual stuff that somehow it just always ends up being right. I want you to grab yourself a coffee, maybe your tarot deck, and let's talk about what the universe might have in store. Today, I am drinking a Americano with a splash of oat milk and just a little bit of honey for sweetness. I'm trying to kind of stay away from all the sugar in all the coffee drinks that I've been drinking lately, just to kind of lose a little bit of weight. Do you feel me? Are some of you on that weight loss? So I have been MIA for a little bit, regrouping. Life is happening. Um, being a grandma, being a mom, getting a new job. And I feel like Gemini to 11 used to be my main priority. And I throughout life and my family, I've kind of shifted into coaching and um, running a family business, being the operational manager for that. And there's just constant, nonstop hiccups that has um, kind of forced me to take a different path with Gemini to 11. However, I'm still here, I'm still present, and I try my best to kind of pop on here and there. But I am such a big energy person where I am not going to show face and I am not going to do readings and connect with anybody if my energy is depleted. And being an operational manager is very depleting when you're working with other people and different energies and things like that. But today, I am grateful to be here and I wanted to kind of dive into something. I want to do something that I absolutely love, which is tarot, and do a seasonal tarot style energy reading. For every zodiac sign, we are stepping into the spring, right? Spring is finally here. March 20th is the first day of spring, which means new energy, new opportunities, and sometimes a little chaos in the universe. It's life, right? So today, I'm going to give you an energy reading forecast. What might bloom, what might shake up, and where the universe just might be trying to push you next. I want you to take this in, take some notes. If you're driving, you could pay attention to your zodiac sign. If you're chilling, drinking your coffee, I love it. Now remember, this is just an energy guidance, not a rule book. So take what resonates with you and leave what doesn't. And trust your intuition. Are you ready? I'm ready to do this. So let's start with I want to kind of just talk about what the spring means um, in spirituality. So, in the spiritual world, spring represents rebirth, renewal, and awakening. It's a season when the earth wakes up after a long, cold winter, and symbolically, it reflects the same thing happening within us our energy, our motivation, our creativity, and the hope for a new start to come back to life. If you think about it, flowers start to blossom, animals come out of hibernation, the weather clears up. It's just like that perfect in between. And across many spiritual traditions, springtime is seen as a transformation season. Seeds that were planted in the dark during the winter finally began to show face. In the spiritual sense, that means that intentions, lessons, or even healing work that you've been doing quietly may start to actually show results, just like me trying to lose weight. So, I want you to think of this as flowers bloom and trees start to grow new leaves. Spiritually, this represents a fresh start, time to release old energy, time for new goals, shifting habits, reconnecting with a purpose. And many of us feel that desire to start cleaning out your closet. This is so crazy because I, over the weekend, just literally emptied out all of my closet, trashed a bunch of things that I'm like, I'm not going to wear this ever again. this is spirit coming through this message already. Um, but it's not random, it's energetically the season to push us towards new growth, right? With the spring equinox is when the day and the night are nearly equal. So now we spend just as much sun, we get as much sun as we do darkness. And in the spiritual world, this is the balance between the light and the darkness. What am I holding on to that needs to be released? What energies do I want to welcome into my life? And what seeds do I need to plant for the rest of this year? This is a spiritual reset point for us. If we take a step back and we go into analyzing the winter, right? In the spiritual mindset, winter represents rest, reflection, and sometimes a hardship. And this is why I believe the witchy vibe in me believes that winter comes with the darkness, right? The clouds, the rain, the heaviness, the no sun. And then right after winter comes spring, which reminds us that growth always follows the quiet season. Almost like I kind of hesitated in that because I almost envisioned like the rainbow or the sun after the storm, you know, that phrase. So this is kind of that hard season, right? Of winter to spring. So if you feel stuck, tired, or unsure of your direction, spring carries a message of your season is changing. Sometimes opportunities, relationships, energy around us, a lot of things shift us to expand. So let's get into this powerful message with tarot. I'm going to use the astrology tarot deck and we will go in order with zodiac signs. So we're going to start with Aries, as Aries starts March 20th, the first day of spring. And I pulled the Wheel of Fortune in reverse, the Three of Swords, and the Unknown card. This is a very, very powerful reading. So let's start with the Three of Swords because this card came out very heavy. I feel like this is a heavy emotional healing transition. This card usually shows up after heartbreak, disappointment, or something that just didn't go the way that you hoped. And some of you may be coming out of a situation that hurt your heart or shook your confidence a little bit. This could be you got let go from a job. This could be a relationship ended, something that just did not work out for you. But what this card really represents in spring is healing and releasing. It's like the universe is helping you finally let go of something that's been weighing you down. That anchor that I always talk about. Yeah, this is it. And the Wheel of Fortune card came out with that in reverse. I wish it was upright, but it's in reverse. When it's in reverse, it can feel like life has been a little stuck, like the timing hasn't been working out, plans keep shifting, or you're just wondering why things haven't really moved forward yet. But spiritually, the reverse Wheel of Fortune usually means that the universe is still working behind the scenes in your favor. It's not that it's like a bad luck moment, it's just that the timing is still trying to get aligned. So the spring might feel like you're in the middle of a turning point, but you're not fully through it yet. And your unknown card, this card is all about stepping into a new chapter where you don't always have all the answers yet. This is a place where I feel like you have to be willing to spread your wings and you have to be willing to take a risk, take a chance, jump into something that you have no idea what that outcome's going to look like. You have no idea where it's even taking you. But this is going to be what spirit wants this spring, right? Letting you step into a new chapter without direction, without having it all put together, because usually you need to have it all put together from A to Z. And honestly, that fits perfectly in a perfect world, but not for your spring reading. So I feel like you're being asked to trust the path that you're on, even if you can't see what the ending part is yet, if you can't see what the end result's going to be like, it's okay. Something is shifting for you this spring, but the full picture hasn't been able to reveal itself yet. Sometimes the most powerful transformations happen when we are forced to step into something that is unknown and we are forced to trust our intuition. So, what's being asked of you is to heal your past, be patient with your timing, and trust that the wheel is still turning. Even if you can't see the end, it's okay. Now, when we talk about career, your Three of Swords can also show up when someone felt maybe undervalued or disappointed in a job. So maybe you feel like you've been overworking and really trying to go for this position, or let somebody recognize you and it's just not happening. So now you're getting into that like disappointment, right? Maybe a promotion that you expected didn't work out. Maybe a project didn't work out the right way. But the good thing is that it leads to the Wheel of Fortune in reverse again, that makes you understand, like, yeah, life is stuck right now and things aren't moving, but it's still working for you behind the scenes. So I feel like when it comes to career, you might have a delay. When it comes to finances, there might be a delay, but there's also an opportunity of change that's approaching. And I don't feel like this is going to happen until the end of the spring or towards the end, because the timing is still aligning and things are still shifting, right? And then when your unknown card comes out, this card tells you that you're stepping into that new chapter again, where outcomes are priceless. I keep seeing, even in this reading, lots of crows around you. I know in a witchy world, crows are, good and bad, but I feel like crows are your protection and kind of like your grounding point. So seeing a lot of crows over the spring for you is going to be transition, migration, moving. I definitely feel like this is confirmation that you're exactly where you're supposed to be. When it comes to love, I feel like you have to be able to choose partners that you respect and that respect you. Choose healthier boundaries and let go of someone that isn't aligned with you this season. Because I feel like you have to choose your relationships differently. And this could go for friendships, partners, lovers, coworkers, your boss, any type of relationship. This is where this comes into. But I feel like spring for you is all about meeting someone new, um, someone who has a different path than what you're used to, and someone who is going to challenge you to grow, getting you out of your comfort zone and showing you the world in a heartfelt energy. Be expectant of new beginnings with love, but you have to first be able to do the work of healing from your past. You also have to be willing to do the work and let go of old habits and patterns that interact with your mind, in a sense, to bring that fear of, this is not what I wanted. This is not who I manifested. This is not good enough. Sometimes the most powerful transformations happen when we're brave enough to walk into the unknown. So, this Aries is your spring energy. I love this for you, and I want you to know that you are good enough to open your arms to receive love, to receive great financial support, and great energetic support from your spirit team. Don't give up. I love you guys, and make sure you're following me on all social media, TikTok and Instagram, Gemini211, and visit my website, Gemini211.com, for all bookings and private readings. All right, Taurus babies, let's see what came up for you this spring. I actually got the Two of Cups, the Seven of Pentacles, and the Ten of Wands for you. And this actually tells a really strong story about relationships, patience, and responsibility, which fits your Taurus energy perfect. So, let's talk about this Two of Cups, which is one of the most beautiful relationship cards in all of tarot. I bet you didn't know that. This card represents connection, partnerships, emotional alignment, true love. So, Taurus, this spring could bring stronger bonds and relationships. For some of you, this might mean a new romantic relationship deepening, meeting someone new who feels emotionally balanced and aligned to you. Or you could be repairing a connection that matters to you in a different way than before. Does that make sense? Yes, it does. But the Two of Cups doesn't just represent romantic relationships, it could also represent important business work, partnerships. Some of you, Taurus, might find yourselves collaborating with someone who helps you move your career forward or even brings balance in your work life. The Seven of Pentacles came out right after this. And this card is all about patience and long term growth. Taurus, you guys are naturally a sign that understands slow, steady progress. And this card of Seven of Pentacles confirms just that. In relationships, this could mean a connection that builds slowly but becomes stronger over time. In career and finances, the Seven of Pentacles often shows up when someone has been putting in the work and you start to see these results. And you might be asking yourself questions of, is this worth it? Is this business going to grow the way I want it to? Should I keep investing my time doing this? But your Seven of Pentacles tells you you're building something that is growing, and it just requires a little bit more patience before you see the full reward. Because your 10 of Wands, which is the card about responsibility, carrying a lot of weight, Taurus, this tells us that you've been carrying a lot and dealing with a lot of bullshit lately. And carrying this weight is in all areas of your life, right? Work, family, emotional, relationships. When it comes to the career aspect, though, and the Ten of Wands shows up, this is when someone is very overly stressed. And I feel like this is just energy with this Ten of Wands of just being so tired and mentally drained. And this is because you're working overtime, you're working harder, you're taking on too many responsibilities, and you might be to the point where people just expect you to do certain things, right? Like people expect you to carry the weight, people expect you to do something, and you're doing it because you want that recognition. You want to feel good about yourself. You want to gain extra skills or, put yourself out there. But the one thing that I feel like you're holding on to so heavily is the emotional part of who you are. Everything is heavy emotions for you. And I feel like this spring season for you is going to be all about, connections that are going to be forming for you, whether it's in the workspace or your love life or relationships mending within, your household and family. Um, I want you to know that things are working for you, but they are growing slowly. Don't expect fast, sudden, um, expectations. Don't expect fast, sudden responses. Don't expect fast, sudden reactions. The most important thing I want you to make sure that you carry with you is that you don't have to do all this alone. Okay. You don't have to do this alone. Find faith within your spirit journey or your spirituality. And I want you to find balance with your partnership, energy with relationships, workspace, personal boundaries, so that you don't burn yourself out, right? Because unfortunately, Taurus, the spring for you is going to feel like a season where relationships and partnerships matter tremendously. But the universe is also reminding you that you don't have to carry the whole world on your shoulders. It's okay to let go of things that you feel like are pushing you too much. It's okay to let go of responsibilities. It's okay to stop carrying all the work, load, and weight of life. I want you to ask yourself, is this business growing the way I want? Should I keep investing my time here? Is this job worth the effort? Is this relationship giving me what I want? There's so much for you to think about, and there's so much for you to let go and release, putting all this aside and focusing on yourself. This is your season, your spring season of rebirth, new beginnings, new outlooks of yourself, and new hopes for something greater. Don't give up on yourself. Don't be harsh. Give back to the universe what you no longer want, what no longer is lighting your light, whatever is dimming you, it's time to give back to recycle. I'm Gemini 211. I love you guys. Make sure you're following me on Instagram and TikTok, Gemini 211, and private appointments, Gemini211.com. Gemini, the sign of communication, curiosity, and a little bit of beautiful chaos. Gemini season actually starts bringing us closer to summer, right? So this energy tends to feel a little lighter, more social, and more mentally active. So I pulled some cards to ask what is shifting this spring, what we could expect, all that jazz. And I got the Nine of Pentacles in reverse, the Queen of Cups, and the Chariot. This is actually a beautiful growing spread, especially for relationships, emotional maturity, and moving forward in life on a new adventure. So let's get started with this. The Nine of Pentacles in reverse. Normally, this card represents independence, success, and feeling secure on your own. But when it comes out reversed, it can sometimes mean, Gemini, we may be feeling a little bit off balance lately. And I feel like you've been questioning your worth, your independence, even your direction, especially when it comes to work or personal success. And some of us, we feel like we've been working hard but not fully seeing any type of reward. Or maybe we're just relying too much on the outside validation instead of trusting our own abilities. But what's interesting is that the next card that came out was the Queen of Cups. And this is really powerful because this is emotional energy. The Queen of Cups represents your intuition, your compassion, your emotional maturity, and a deep understanding of your feelings. So, this tells me that we're stepping into a season of emotional awareness and powerful intuition. In relationship, this could mean that we're learning how to understand our own emotional needs better. I feel like this spring, you're going to feel like you find yourself becoming more selective about who you let into your life, who you're exchanging conversations with over the phone, through text message, in person. And you're going to realize what kind of connection actually nourishes your soul and which relationships or connections are actually depleting your soul. Um, I also feel like there could be a chance of someone new entering your life who is a very good emotional support for you. When it comes to career, your Queen of Cups can represent connections with intuition, being creative, or even just helping out others. Sometimes we feel like we're being pulled towards work that feels more meaningful than practical. And with the final card, which was the Chariot card, which is one of the strongest movement cards in all of tarot. And this card is all about determination, perseverance, momentum, moving forward in confidence. So, after a period of questioning yourself and feeling unsure, spring is bringing a surge of powerful moving forward energy. Relationships can take control of your love life, but deciding what you truly want and moving forward with it is going to be huge this spring. When it comes to your career, the Chariot card being so dominant represents progress, ambition, travel, and huge steps forward with success. Some of you might experience new opportunities, job offers, career moves, or finally just gaining traction on something that you've been working on. So, the message for this spring feels like trusting your intuition better, rebuilding confidence, and moving forward with real determination. So, this spring feels like the moment where you reconnect with your intuition and take that wheel of your life again. Grounding is going to be very, 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 very top notch for you. Spend some time grounding. Now that the spring is here, get out into the sun, get you some vitamin D. But I feel like this is going to be a very strong transformation story for you. And I love that you can do this with grace. I love that you can do this with confidence. And even though I feel like something has dimmed your light a little bit, this spring is all about regaining that and taking ownership and taking will of your life again in that journey. Expect the unexpected this spring because it is going to come in so hot for you. I love you guys. I appreciate you guys. And I hope this all resonated with you. Make sure you're following me on Instagram and TikTok, Gemini211, private bookings, Gemini211.com. Cancer, the sign ruled by the moon. I love it. Cancer energy is deeply emotional, it's intuitive, and it's connected to home, family, and relationship. So, Cancer, let's see what the cards have to say about your energy for this spring. So, I pulled the Judgment, the Queen of Swords, and the Eight of Swords. And when I pulled this, the topics in question were relationships, career, and personal growth for the spring. So, this is this is actually a very powerful emotional and mental transformation spread, which fits you, Cancers, just right. Because you are ruled by the sun and it tends to go through, because you're ruled by the moon and you tend to go through deep emotional cycles, right? So, first, we start with the Judgment card. And this is a really powerful card about spiritual awakening, clarity, realizing something important about your life. This can also represent a moment where you suddenly seem like the vision is clear, right? You see things with clarity. Maybe something wasn't as obvious before, and now it is like a big flashing red light in front of you. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. When it comes to relationships, the Judgment card shows up when someone realizes what they truly want in life with love. It can also represent reconnecting with someone from the past or making a final decision about a relationship. It just depends on where you're at in your love life. With career and life decision, I feel like the Judgment often shows up when somebody feels called to step into a new version of themselves. If you are feeling like I almost keep seeing like an octopus, right? Like there's so many things you want to do. You want to take on new adventures. You want to try something different. You want to date this person. You want a new car. Like there's all these things that I just feel like your energy just wants to give out and put into these like small kind of ideas. And I feel like you have to step into the version of you that feels most confident, right? Because I feel like there's something bigger. There's a new path, there's a new job opportunity, but you have to trust that gut intuition that you're getting because the Queen of Swords is all about clarity, boundaries, and the truth. She's also very powerful in her decision making, in speaking her truth. Lapis Lazuli is coming up for me right now. Your throat chakra, being able to vocalize your expressions and feelings and boundaries. And she's also very powerful when it comes to mental strength and honesty. So this card could represent you learning to speak your truth. Lapis Lazuli this spring is going to allow you to speak your mind. Um, it's setting boundaries, communicating openly, and not tolerating people, situations, bullshit that does not respect you. Things that do not meet your emotional needs is going to be that big flashing red light that I talked about. That's where this is going to step in. But the Queen of Swords also represents someone who's becoming more confident in their voice when it comes to their career and work and making strong, bold decisions, taking leadership over your own path, essentially. Because the Eight of Cups also, I'm sorry, the Eight of Swords also steps in for us, which represents feeling mentally trapped and overthinking situations. Again, this octopus feeling of what is the right next step for me? What do I do next? Do I end this relationship? Do I start this relationship? Do I go on this adventure? Do I not? And I feel like, you know, the Eight of Swords, even though it's a mental trap and overthinking, the card also suggests that you know, most importantly, you get that mental clarity and almost like a mental restriction of what you allow to manifest in your mind, or what you are going to set your boundary and say, I'm not going to think about that. I almost feel like this is the best example. Um, is almost like saying like, I'm not going to get that job because I didn't go to college and I don't have a bachelor's degree, but I still applied for it, right? You're already having that mental, like, I almost want to say bird cage, where you're honing your own emotions to a negative output instead of restricting that and saying, I put in my application, I'm going for a job interview, and I'm leaving it all up to the universe, right? Sometimes the fear of change or the fear of making the wrong choice can make you feel like things are more complicated than what they really are. So I feel like this spring for you is going to bring a moment where you have to stop questioning yourself and start trusting the wisdom that you've had inside of you this whole entire time. There's going to be big realizations or big awakenings. You're going to learn how to speak your truth and set boundaries. I love this, by the way. And you're going to be able to realize that you are being encouraged by your guides to release the fears that make you feel stuck. We are stepping out of being stuck. I keep seeing lilies, the flower lilies. So I feel like this is going to be confirmation for you. Anytime you see a lily, confirmation of you're exactly where you're supposed to be. You are exactly where you're supposed to be. Spring might feel like the moment where you stop questioning and start trusting your wisdom, but you have to know that you have had this the entire time. It's just a matter of shedding the old and welcoming in the new. I'm Gemini 211. I hope you enjoyed your spring reading. Make sure you're following me on Instagram and TikTok, Gemini 211. And private appointments are at my website, Gemini211.com. I love you guys. Okay, I am now moving into Leo, the sign ruled by the sun. Leo energy is all about confidence, creativity, leadership, and stepping into your own power. So, Leo, let's see what the cards have to say about your energy this spring. Okay, so I pulled the Ten of Wands, the Star, and the Four of Swords. The spread actually has a very clear message about burnout, healing, and renewal, which fits perfectly with the theme of spring. So, the first card that came out was the Ten of Wands. And this card usually shows up when someone's just been carrying a lot of responsibility, which is you, Leo. Too much responsibility that you feel burnt out. And you've been doing a lot for everyone around you, whether that's family, work, friends, acquaintances, just life in general. And that 10 of Wands tells us you are burnt the fuck out, feeling like everything is on your shoulders. When it comes to your career, this card shows up when you've taken too many tasks or responsibilities and you're working very hard right now, possibly even doing more than what you should be doing, and you're not being recognized for it. I know that makes sense to you. When it comes to relationships, it sometimes means that, you're holding things together emotionally, but it's starting to feel heavy. And relationships could feel like friendships, your boss, coworkers, family members, spouse, significant other. But the next card that came out was the Star, right? Which is it's a beautiful card in tarot. And if it was upright, I would say I love this for you, but it's reversed. And being in reverse, it usually talks about a temporary loss, feeling disconnected, your inspirations not being met, and needing to reconnect with yourself, right? So the star coming out in reverse represents a moment where someone, meaning you, has lost their faith. And as a Leo, I feel like you are usually very confident in the direction or path. But for some of you, you've been feeling a little bit drained where you don't know where to pick up. And it's because you've been carrying way too much shit on your shoulders for way too long that you forget what gives you that light again. What I almost feel like this. Your light has been dimmed and you're so comfortable with it that you don't even know what will brighten that light again. And it's actually a call to reconnect with your inner light and to be able to find that. That's grounding, that's setting boundaries, that's taking a second to look within you and say, wow, what can I do for myself to just feel that value again, or that happy, or that joy? Because your Four of Swords card is the last card that came out with this. And this is a reflection, recovery, reanalyzing card. And it's a card that reminds you that, this spring is actually about slowing down and taking care of yourself. Sometimes it's okay to step back and actually allow the clarity and inspiration to return to you so that you could see things from a different perspective. Um, in relationships, sometimes this can look like, you need to heal a little bit more before jumping into something new. When it comes to your work, I want you to step back and really evaluate what truly makes you feel passionate again, because I feel like that spark has been dimmed, especially in your work. And this season isn't about pushing harder, it's about recharging so your true power can come back stronger, right? The spring, I feel, for you is going to feel like a moment to step back, take a breath, remember who you are before the world asks so much of you, all the people around you. It's going to be a season of releasing the pressure of carrying everything alone. You don't have to do it alone. I feel like right now you almost feel like you want to cry, and that emotion and that water energy needs to be released. It's okay to cry. It's okay to take a breath and say, I've been doing this way too long. It's okay for me to take a break. I forgot who I am. I'm lost, worried about everybody else. Reconnect with your sense of purpose. More than anything, give yourself the rest that you need so that your energy can come back. You're not alone. You're working hard. Your spirit team, your guides up above, they see all your hard work. They see the reasoning behind everything. But it's time to reevaluate what truly makes you feel passionate again. I'm Gemini 211. I hope this message gave you some direction and clarity on this spring energy make sure you're following me on Instagram and TikTok, Gemini211, and private appointments, Gemini211.com. Virgo, the sign known for organization and attention to detail. Virgo energy is all about improvement, growth, and figuring out how to make life work better. So, Virgo, let's see what the cards have to say about your energy this spring. So, the first card I pulled was the Eight of Cups, followed by the Ace of Wands and the Seven of Pentacles. And this spread actually tells a very clear story about walking away from something that no longer fulfills you and starting something new, which is a very powerful spring message for you, Virgos. So, the first card, let's talk about this, the Eight of Cups. And this is a card where we want to talk about walking away from something that no longer feels emotionally fulfilling. Do you know what this is? I know what this is for you because you're very loyal and you're hardworking. But sometimes you stay in situations longer than you need to, whether it's a job, a relationship, or even life, right? But I feel like what you're doing, it's just not making you happy anymore. And for some of you, I feel like it's realizing it's time to move on from something that doesn't feel aligned anymore. And that's okay. I feel like this message for you is for me to basically remind you that it's okay to step away from something that you are no longer aligned with. When it comes to your Eight of Cups, it's a almost like representing a closing of a chapter, right? Telling us that your connection, your spark, it no longer need it no longer meets your emotional needs. Um, you've slowly been detaching emotionally anyways, and I feel like something has to always run its course, and it's time for you to close the chapter. When it comes to your career, it's realizing that a job or your workplace, the environment isn't giving you fulfillment or hope anymore, and that is okay. But what's interesting here is the next card, the Ace of Wands, because this is all about new beginnings, passion, and creative energy. So if you're walking away from something, it's because something new is trying to start, period. And the Ace of Wands is that spark of inspiration again. It's creative ideas, it's new directions, it's new opportunities. And I feel like for some of you, this is meeting somebody new who brings a fresh new like outlook on life, a fresh new energy to your life. It reignites your passion, and you no longer will have to be in a stag relationship. When it comes to work, this could mean new opportunities, a business idea, a project that finally feels exciting again, or you're moving up the ladder into a position that you truly want because your Seven of Pentacle card, which is all about patience and long-term growth. It reminds you that meaningful success doesn't happen overnight. Whatever new path you're starting, it may take some time to develop, but it's okay. It's actually very good to build things slow and steady. So I want you to think about things. Stop settling and start planting the seeds for something better. Stop being hard on yourself and know that the universe is ready to give you your every desire this spring. But you have to be willing to be patient and you have to be willing to put up the fight. I definitely feel like there's going to be some of you that are going to be closing chapters, letting go of something that no longer fills you, something that you are not emotionally connected to. And it's okay because you're going to then trust that you're building something slow for the growth over time. You're going to step into new opportunities. You're going to have new opportunities of success and love. Don't feel like you're doing this alone. Whatever path you're taking, at least you're starting it. And the one thing I want to tell you is don't give up. Make it time to be a part of your daily journey and take time to fully see the development of whatever it is that you're doing. Spring's going to feel like the beginning of a new chapter, one where you finally choose what truly fulfills you. I love you guys so much, you Virgos. Make sure you're following me on Instagram and TikTok, Gemini211. I hope this reading hit you right where you needed to have some spiritual reconnection and rethought. Private appointments, Gemini211.com. Again, I appreciate you guys. Make sure you comment or like this, send this to somebody. Love you guys. Hey, Libras, let's see what the cards have to say for you this spring. And this is actually a powerful break free, truth, new beginning type of storyline that we have for you, especially when it comes to relationships and career. So the cards I pulled for you were the Eight of Swords, the Justice card, and the Page of Pentacles. The first card that came out was that Eight of Swords. And this card is all about feeling stuck, feeling trapped, but it's more of like a mental trap or like a feeling stuck mentally. Some of you have been overthinking a certain situation, maybe something that's making you feel kind of unsure. You don't know where to go, which direction, what path, what should I do? And I feel like for some of you, you don't have a way out of this. So when it comes to relationships, okay, this could mean that you feel stuck in a situation that you're not fully happy. Things are not fully aligning. Maybe your partner and you just don't see things eye to eye, and you're slowly falling or disconnecting yourself from this person. And I feel like maybe you feel like you don't even know how to move forward. When it comes to your career, this can be feeling limited. Like you're not seeing your full options and you're feeling like almost restricted in your current job. But the important message is that limitation isn't as permanent as it feels. And a lot of this is about perception and fear because the Justice card, which actually is Libra's card. So this is all about your energy, your breakthrough, and movement that's coming through very strong because the Justice is about truth, finding balance, and making the right decision. So, what that tells me is that you are stepping into a season where you're being asked to see things clearly and make a decision that aligns with your truth. When it comes to relationships, again, this could be, having an honest conversation, setting boundaries, or making a final decision about something that you've been wanting to do for a while. When it comes to your career, this could mean a decision on a contract, finally choosing what you feel is fair, and not just keeping the peace anymore, but making a big decision this spring to put yourself in a better energetic space when it comes to career. Because your final card, which is the Page of Pentacles, which I love in this reading, by the way, represents new opportunities, learning, growth, fresh start. And once you move through this kind of stuck energy and you make a clear decision, there's going to be something new for you. And I feel like this new could mean a lot of different things for you, but you have to be willing to close the anchor. You have to be willing to close the door that does not serve your highest energy anymore and be ready for a fresh new start. When it comes to love, it could mean a new connection or a fresh new start with a different mindset. So maybe you and your partner kind of, you know, get some mental clarity and start to talk about things and kind of find that happy medium. But I feel like you have to find that within yourself first. Um, expect the unexpected when it comes to job opportunity. Maybe you're going to learn a new skill. Maybe you're going to decide to go back to school. Maybe you're going to start something that is going to be a permanent, potential long-term career path. So overall, I feel like this season for spring, stop overthinking and start choosing what is truly right for you. Be ready for the breakthroughs. Be ready to break free from any mental limitations. Be ready to make clear and honest decisions and be ready to step into an opportunity that can grow huge over time. So, Libra, this spring feels like the moment where you trust your truth, where you make your decision and open the door to something new. And this is actually perfect for you this season. And I'm excited for you to step into that new horizon. I'm excited for you to let go of all those trapped emotions and mental fears. And I'm ready for you to step into the new version of you this spring. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram and TikTok, Gemini211, private booking appointments, or Gemini211.com. I love you guys and appreciate you guys so much. All right, Scorpios, let's see what is coming for you this spring. This is going to be a deep Scorpio type reading, very much about avoidance, struggle, and delayed new beginning, but also a chance to completely shift the direction. So the cards I pulled for you are the Two of Swords, the Five of Pentacles, and the Ace of Pentacles in reverse. So let's start with the Two of Swords, because the Two of Swords is decision making, being stuck into two decisions, and possibly being avoidant towards something huge. Because I feel like some of you feel like you're avoiding a decision right now or not fully wanting to face some sort of something. When it comes to relationship, this could mean, knowing that something isn't right, but wanting to confront it, but feeling like I don't know if I'm ready to confront it yet. When it comes to your workspace, it could mean, that you're unsure about the next move. Maybe you're staying somewhere where it feels safe, but something else is calling you, another direction is pulling you, but you're kind of like, I don't know if this is the right decision. And you're stuck in this kind of like, I'm going to call it like a little realm of being very indecisive. I feel like I want you to know that it's okay to not play it safe. It's okay to take that leap, because the Five of Pentacles card represents feeling heavy, right? And right now I feel like you're just stuck in this momentum of, struggling, feeling like you're not supported, or like all the advice you're getting just doesn't add up and you're still kind of like, I don't know what to do. When it comes to love and relationships, for some of you, this could look like you're disconnected or you're not being valued from your person. And it's starting to make you feel like shit and you're wanting to see something different and you're starting to test the waters, but you don't know what that's going to look like. Um, I feel like there's a lot of stress that pertains to money. Um, some of you, this could look like job instability or just feeling like things aren't working out the way you hoped or you manifested. And that's okay. Don't be hard on yourself, because there's a deeper message in this that I feel like kind of shows that there's help or opportunity that's nearby, but you may not be seeing it yet because you're focusing on the struggle instead of focusing on the bigger picture and the light. Right now, you're just stuck in that Two of Swords card, right? But when we look at your Ace of Pentacles in reverse, normally, if this was upright, it would mean new opportunities. It would mean something stable, great, energy, new, and positive energy. But in reverse, this is delayment. This is missed opportunities, something that isn't fully ready yet. So, Scorpio, this feels like a situation where something new is trying to come in, but it's being blocked, possibly because a decision hasn't been made yet. This could mean that you're possibly holding on to something that's preventing new, or you're holding on to something without allowing the stable connection to enter into this. So I feel like when it comes to work, right, in career, this could mean an opportunity that hasn't fully materialized yet. And it needs to shift directions before the right one appears. So don't be so hard if you're not getting that job, if you put in that application and you're not getting that specific job that you want. Look at it as a detour for something greater. Because I feel like overall, the spring for you is going to be about facing decisions that you've been avoiding. Oh my goodness, this kind of brings back deja vu to Mercury retrograde. where you repeat these kind of lessons. This is kind of sort of that same type of energy where you're going to have to face a decision that you've been avoiding. You're going to have to recognize where you feel unsupported or out of alignment and make those changes. Clear some space for new opportunity that can actually come in. You're carrying and holding on to all this heavy energy that there's no room for new growth, new doors, new opportunity. So this is a transformational, I want to say moment, but season for you, but it requires you to be honest with yourself first. What is it that you want? What is the decision that you're making? What does that look like? How is that going to be positive for you? And what do you have to get rid of to bring in something new? So this spring feels like the moment where you stop avoiding the truth, face what's not working, and finally open the door for something better to come in. I absolutely love this for you because it's facing the truth behind the biggest decision of your spring season. So I hope this makes sense. Chase the money this season, chase the good energy and the good vibe. And I know that the outcome is going to be greater. And I need you to understand that the outcome is going to be greater than this kind of low vibration that you have right now. It's time to do some spring cleaning. Well, I love you guys and appreciate you guys. I am Gemini211. Make sure you're following me on TikTok and Instagram, Gemini211. Private appointments and bookings are Gemini211.com. Love you guys so much. All right, Sagittarius, let's see what's coming in for you this spring. This is like a really interesting mix of emotions here. I see a lot of imbalance and trying to juggle things, which fits your Sagittarius energy when life is shifting. So I pulled the Page of Cups, the Justice card in reverse, and the Two of Pentacles. So first things first, the first card that came out is the Page of Cups, and this is a beautiful, soft energy because this card represents new emotional experiences, creativity, and openness. So you're entering a season where you're feeling more connected to your emotions, more connected to your intuition, and even a new relationship. For those of you that are already in a relationship, this could mean a new relationship with yourself. This could mean a new friendship. This could mean a new love for something that you didn't expect to come into your path. When it comes to love, this Page of Cups card is new connection. It's someone that is very emotional. It's opening up your heart again after a period of distance or loneliness or separation. Be ready for this. When it comes to career, this can mean a lot of different things in the creative aspect, creative ideas and opportunities that feel more aligned with your passion. You getting these ideas, this motivation that you didn't know you had to do something creative that's going to align you. And I feel like this is not practical, but it's something that's going to be actually huge and very exciting for you. Um, I do feel like with the Justice card in reverse right after this, remember to find balance because there is going to be some unfairness or something that's not fully aligned with you. But I feel like this comes from someone else's karma and someone else's wrongdoing. And even though you don't see it for what it is at the moment, the long term or the outcome for this situation and this kind of like unfairness is going to rule out in your favor and against the person or situation that's trying to work against you. Um, in your love life with this Justice card in reverse, it kind of feels like things aren't really equal and maybe somebody's giving more than receiving. And I feel like that person is you because that's how you Sagittarius babies are. And something's just not going to feel right. And it's going to give you that opportunity to reanalyze this relationship and kind of be able to vocalize your emotions to get things aligned the way that you've been wanting to. But I also feel like with your Justice card in reverse, I want you to also look at your own truth. Are you being honest with yourself about what is working and what is not? And I feel like this is just your life in general. if you wrote a list of all the things that are working in your life right now and all the things that are working against you right now, do they align with what is your true higher frequency? Does it all line up and align with who you want to be and what you put out? Because in reality, Sagittarius, energy loves freedom and movement. But the next card, which is the Two of Pentacles, is all about juggling and trying to find balance. And you are trying to balance and manage a lot at once, from relationships to responsibilities to decisions to actions to choices to love. So this spring, I want you to kind of use this Two of Pentacle cards to open up your heart to something new. Recognize that some things might feel out of balance, and it's okay. This is where you run with your heart and your emotions, and you kind of find that balance and remove what does not fit in that space anymore. I want you to learn to manage your own energy without overwhelming yourself, because you tend to do that quite often. This season, it kind of feels like you're being asked to balance your emotions with your desires and with your real life responsibilities. And not everything needs to be figured out all at once. Give yourself some credit, take a break. But what you do need to do is be honest about what feels right and what doesn't. So, Sagittarius babies, spring feels like a season where your heart is opening, but you're also learning what's worth your energy and what is not. So, I love this for you guys because I feel like adjusting your life after the truth is going to be huge for you. I know that for some of you, this is kind of like, wait, what do you mean? But I feel like once the truth of what you want to be aligned with, you kind of figure that out, all the adjustments are going to come so naturally and so easily for you. And everything's just going to align for you. Watch this spring just fill your soul, fill your energetic space with tons of abundance, tons of success. I feel like a lot of crystal energy. So crystal magic this spring is going to be huge for you. Wear your crystals, manifest with them, put them out to get charged with the sun, and do whatever your intuition calls for you to do this spring. I love you guys. I'm Gemini211. Make sure you are following me on Instagram and TikTok, Gemini211, and also private appointments at Gemini211.com. Love you, Sagittarius babies. All right, Capricorn, let's see what's coming for you this spring. This is a really powerful Capricorn spread because it's giving long-term stability with breakthrough and clarity, especially in career and life decisions. So I pulled the Six of Swords reversed, the Ten of Pentacles, and the Ace of Swords. So the first card that came out was the Six of Swords in reverse, and this is a card that is all about feeling stuck or having difficulty moving on from something. And some of you, I feel like you've been trying to transition out of a situation, but it hasn't fully happened yet. So you're stuck, feeling trapped, feeling you don't know where to go. Some of you, for this relationship situation that you have going on, this feels like you're holding on to something from the past or struggling to fully let go and move forward emotionally. So your emotions are kind of hesitant. You kind of feel like you don't know if you're making the right decision. I feel like for some of you, you're not even fully committing yourself to love or fully giving yourself because of your past and some sort of fear from your past. But I almost feel like when it comes to career, this could feel like, being stuck somewhere where you've outgrown a phase of your career, but the transition hasn't been so smooth. You haven't been able to find a job. You haven't been able to find what you want to do. So it's kind of like you're in between worlds, not where you used to be, but not fully where you want to be yet. And the Ten of Pentacles card came out, which is one of the best cards for stability, long-term success, and security, because it tells us that moving towards something very solid and long lasting is your goal. And that's where you're trying to transition yourself to, especially in relationship, because you want to be committed. You want to feel like family loves you and you're appreciated and you want to build something real. And I feel like this is like stability with somebody. And this could go along with your workspace, trying to just build that stability and figure out what is it that I really want to do. So even if you feel stuck right now, I feel like Spirit is telling you where you're going is worth it. All these stuck emotions is making you rethink where you're at to make decisions and open up doors that you never thought you could open, because your Ace of Swords card is all about clarity, truth, and breakthrough. And this is a moment where things become more clear. You may have realizations, you may have to make a decision, or finally understand what direction that you need to go in. And I feel like the Ace of Swords is a reminder that, with this sword, I can break through any door that comes in my way, any obstacle that comes in my way, to get through to the best outcome or whatever it is that you are trying to get through to. For some of you, this might mean a conversation that brings clarity or truth. For some of you, this might mean you have to pivot your path and close doors where doors, they've been open for too long and it hasn't been beneficial to you. So be ready for new ideas with career. Be ready for a decision or a breakthrough that's going to help you move forward in life in general. Because I feel like this is a turning point season for you, even if it doesn't feel like that right now, because you feel stuck in this transition. It's a transition period that right now you're moving towards long-term stability and success. And you're going to have that moment of clarity that's going to help you with this breakthrough. And just remember your Ace of Swords. You are equipped. You have the wisdom. You have what it takes. You could see this card full of butterflies and roses. And I feel like this is spirit. Whenever you see a butterfly, this is confirmation you're exactly where you're supposed to be. When you see roses, you are exactly where you're supposed to be. Those are your spirit guides and your angels coming through saying, hey, you're on the right path. It's okay. Take a breath. So Capricorn, spring feels like the moment where everything starts making sense and you finally see the path that leads you to stability and what you've been working for so long. It's finally here. Let it flow. It's perfect for you and it's a perfect time. I'm Gemini 211. I love you guys. Make sure you're following me on TikTok and Instagram, Gemini 211. Any private appointments, Gemini211.com. Love and appreciate you guys. Happy spring. See what's coming for you this spring, because this is a really powerful break free, step into power, wake up to opportunity type of vibe that I'm getting, because I pulled the Devil card, the King of Wands, and the Four of Cups in reverse. And this is very Aquarius right now, especially with transformation and independence in the theme here. Because your first card, let's talk about this, the Devil card. And this is a card about attachments, patterns, and things that keep us stuck or in bad predicaments. Some of y'all in situationships. Yes, I'm talking about you. And some of y'all are dealing with temptations of some sort. And being that you're an Aquarius and you're so free spirit, this Devil card could represent something in your life that feels hard to break away from. A habit, a mindset, a work situation, a friendship, a relationship. Because for some reason, there's some sort of relationship energy around you that is very toxic. The toxic patterns, the codependency, and almost feeling like you're tied to something that doesn't fully serve you, but you don't know how to break through and you want to keep giving people the benefit of the doubt, or you want to keep giving the situation the benefit of the doubt. When it comes to career, this could look like you feel stuck. It could feel like a routine. But the most important thing about this card is you're not actually stuck. You just feel like you are, because your King of Wands came with powerful energy right after that Devil card. The King of Wands is all about confidence, leadership, and taking control of your life. So you baddie Aquariuses, this tells me that you're stepping into a season where you're reclaiming your fucking power. It's about damn time. Oh yeah, Lizzo, it's about damn time. Okay, let's get back to this. But when it comes to relationships, this could mean, kind of taking control of your emotions, your boundaries, knowing your worth, and no longer accepting less than what you deserve. Period. That's a statement in itself. There's a big shift coming through an energy shift when it comes to career. So this could mean, a leadership position, you taking on a like supervisor role or some sort of higher role in your career. Um, and this is also really big because I feel like with this King of Wands, you're stepping into this with more confidence and a more professional version of yourself. But then we got the Four of Cups in reverse, which I absolutely love right now because normally the Four of Cups represents feeling disconnected. But in reverse, it means waking up and finally seeing what's been right in front of you this whole time. So after a period of feeling stuck or disconnected, you're starting to recognize new opportunities and endless possibilities. When it comes to relationship, remember that seeing the situation clearly or realizing what you truly want is valid. And when it comes to your career, remember that, finally the opportunity is going to present itself. And I don't want you to overlook the opportunity because you've overlooked it before. I want you to notice what's in front of you, take the opportunity, allow yourself to break free from the limiting pattern, limiting, edit this, from the limiting patterns and step into your confidence and own who you are because opportunities are going to be endless for you this spring. There's a huge, powerful shift here for you. So I want you to realize that this season for spring is all about freedom and stepping into your power. Spring's going to feel like the moment you break the chains, step into your power, and kind of realize you had more options than you thought this whole time. It's time to get the clarity that you need. All right, I am excited for you, Aquarius daddies, to step into your power, to see things for what they truly are, to find yourself. Don't feed into temptation. This is not the season for temptation, boo. This is the season where you see the clarity and you ask for help. I keep seeing carnelian around you, so utilize carnelian, that crystal that is kind of orange, reddish a little bit sometimes. Use carnelian to help you seek the clarity that you need. I'm Gemini to 11. Make sure you're following me on Instagram and TikTok, Gemini to 11, and private appointments, Gemini to 11.com. Love you guys. All right, Pisces, let's close this out with your energy for this spring. This is actually a perfect closing reading for this episode because it carries themes from ending, grounding, and rebuilding, which wraps up the whole zodiac sign cycle beautifully. The cards that I pulled for you are the Ten of Swords, Queen of Pentacles, and the Two of Pentacles. The first card, let's talk about this, was the Ten of Swords. And this is a card all about ending. So some of you might be coming out of a really difficult situation, something that felt like an ending, maybe a betrayal or just a chapter that had to close. And spiritually, it represents completion. So there was a reason or a purpose that this chapter or this relationship was going to close. It was going to close either way. But whatever this was, it's reaching its final point. And this could mean the end of painful energy or just a friendship situation that didn't align with you anymore and it's coming to a close. It might feel like you got stabbed in the chest a million times, but the truth and the reality is, Spirit is only doing this because guess what? You were stressed out. And I feel like not we, but Spirit gave you many opportunities to realize your worth and you were blindsided. So now we are letting this chapter go. We are leaving behind. This could be a relationship, a stressful job, a failed plan, or something that just didn't work out the way that you hoped. But the important part is that it's over. And the worst part is already past because your Two of Pentacles comes in very heavy, which is all about balancing and adjusting, right? Moving into something new, a new phase, and juggling different priorities. So this could look like work, finances, relationships, being a mom, being a parent, or just figuring out where to go next. Because we then have the Queen of Pentacles, which is a beautiful grounding energy. Because your Queen of Pentacles brings in the stability, the rebuilding your life in a more secure way, and nurturing yourself. After whatever ending you've gone through, you're stepping into a phase where I feel like you're going to be focusing on taking care of yourself, your home, your finances, your overall stability, your mental space, who you give it your energy to, and who's in it and who's not. I do feel like there's going to be new hope when it comes to love for some of you that are single, attracting someone who feels safe, who feels grounded, and who feels supportive. And I feel like this could even look like a new friendship that just gets even closer. When it comes to the workspace and your career, I do feel like this could build from here. Like you are ready to build something more stable, more financial security, more mental space of clarity, and feeling like you're in a workspace or an environment where you actually want to be there. Um, because for a long time, I feel like you've just been very comfortable, and now you're weighing out your options to find something that not only pays good, but makes you feel good about yourself. For some of you, this could look like going back to school. This could look like, starting your own business. But I feel like this spring is going to be a moment where you rise from something that ended and you start building something more stable, more grounded, and more aligned with who you're becoming. For some of you, you're going to have vivid dreams of where you need to go. And you're going to wake up and say, holy shit, this is what I want to do now. For some of you, you're going to get that closure of a door closing that you didn't expect, but Spirit then rewarding you with something greater. So be ready for this, because I feel like, you know, while you are trying to find yourself and while you are transitioning through this spring, it's a place of rebirth energy. And that's exactly what spring is about, is the rebirth, right? So I want you to remember that you this spring are rebuilding your own security. You're going to close a chapter that was painful that you're never going to look back on. It's not going to be coexistent in your emotions no more, because you're looking back, you're closing it, and you healed, and you're going to learn to balance your new life moving forward. Be ready for this big rebirth energy. And I'm so excited that I get to share this with you. You're going to have to come back and tell me all the tea. So from new beginnings to growth and transformation, whatever chapter you're stepping into, just know the energy of the spirit realm is supporting you. I am Gemini 211. I appreciate you guys so much. Make sure you're following me on Instagram and TikTok, Gemini 211. If you're looking for private appointments, Gemini211.com. Love you guys so much, and happy spring.